Well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you so that, see, what do I need to do? There it is. So that we can kind of go through the presentation. And I might, for those of you that were on the call last week, I might just kind of reiterate some information because I think it's always important to kind of understand, get that really understanding, really good, solid about how we do this business of complementary products. And remember, I know Tony used the word ancillary. Let's try to change our vocabulary and talk about these products as complementary products, because that's going to make a lot more sense to your clients. And obviously to ourselves, it makes sense in terms of what we're trying to do. We're trying to complement existing sales and products that they already have in the, that they've already got purchased or they have or some way, shape, or form. So let's just start using complementary, and I'm going to do my dandiest here to use complementary throughout the conversation today too. So yes, I have been with GTL for 18 years. I know I may not sound it. I could be at one company for that long. I am that old, but it's been a great run. I think GTL is a really, really good company from an agent and insurance perspective. And from obviously, they've treated me well too. So obviously I've been here for a long time also. But, from a knowledge point for your clients, let your clients know this is a mid-sized insurance company. It was founded in Chicago back in 1936. So it's over 80 years of being in business, and it's still a family-run business. Today, we're still being led by the third generation of the family, which is the Holson family. And the current chairman, president, and CEO of the company is Rick Holson. We're very lucky to have him as the leader of GTL. He's a very sales focused type of CEO it's really good for all of us. So we're very, very fortunate in that regard. I may have told you last week, but that is our home office right there. That's a picture of our home office. And this home office holds everything that GTL needs to do. We do that right out of this building. So customer service, sales, underwriting, claims, commissions, supplies, even our offices, they're all right here out of this building. And, we're hopeful that, a month or two, we can kind of get everybody back into the building and kind of get back to more normal existence, here in the office. So that'd be nice. We have an AM Best rating of an A minus. Hopefully in the next year or two, we can get that moved up to an A and then even higher after that. So definitely going in the right trajectory. So that's good. So we're definitely doing well from a financial standpoint from an AM Best reporting side. I know last week we spent time talking about our hospital indemnity product, and I'll spend a couple minutes on that again today just to kind of as a refresher. But we do have other complementary products that are great conversation starters with your clients. Or, remember, give me a reason to give a client a phone call, and we're going to be able to educate and make right decisions for the clients. And all these products that you see on the screen here, these are all great reasons to give clients a phone call, right? And, it's also good to call clients, just say, hey, how you doing? Is everything going okay? But remember, I recommend 4 times a year, we should be reaching out to our clients and letting them know, that we know that they're around, that they're there, making sure everything's going okay. And maybe it's going to be appropriate after the MA sale. You talked to them about hospital indemnity because, it was AEP was busy, didn't get a chance to get to it. Right now, January, I know you got OEP going on, but you still got to make sure there's folks that have MAs that from AEP, they're going to have out-of-pocket exposure. So we got to make sure we get back at them and talk to them and say, hey, make sure, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, did you get everything you needed? I told you you're going to get from the MA company. You did great. Okay, now remember we talked about those copays. Let's go ahead and set up some time to take care of those for you. So that's one contact call, right? Next quarter, it'll be another contact call. It might be a birthday for the client during that quarter. It may be just a how you doing? Everything going well for you? Great. Because it's important that the clients know who you are. There's a lot of different ways where you are getting attacked, quite frankly, as an agent in the field. It's there's internet, there's phones, there's everything, anything and everything you can imagine. People are trying to get at the insurance, and you want to make sure that you're right there on top of their clients and letting them know that you are their person for all their needs, right? So we're going to talk. You might be in a state that we do business, that you do business in, that we might have some Medicare supplement in. Great. If it's a competitive med sup for you, please go ahead and use that. That'd be great. I know we always talk about Medicare Advantage and hospital indemnity, but Medicare supplements, there's a plethora of opportunities to be able to do complementary sales work. You'll be able to talk about short-term care products like Recover Cash or short-term home health care. You might want to talk about any person that you run across that's about 50 years old, a Heritage Plan, Graded Benefit Whole Life product. Anybody is, from the ages of 18 on up, can be spoken to about cancer coverage. So we'll talk about that today, a little bit more detail than we did last week when we talked. And then we also have a product that I'm not going to talk about in detail today, but I wanted to throw it out there just so you know. It's called Critical Cash. And what this is if you work in the long-term care market and you have clients that are interested, can afford the long-term care plan, they go through the process and then they get denied, this may be a good option for them, this Critical Cash product, to be able to give them a substantial amount of benefit on a critical illness basis. So that's why I wanted to at least put it up here, so that this way I'll mention it, that there is a product out there that if your client that gets LTC gets denied, they may have another option through a health plan that's a critical illness policy. So, if you ever get to that situation, let us know. We can walk you through that without an issue. This is going to look familiar to you, I'm sure. And for those of you, if this is the first time we're saying, you're seeing my presentation, well, this will be a fun part for you. At the end of the day, insureds do not know don't know anything about insurance, and that's the position that I come from. And when I'm saying this, because you and I are the professionals. You and I are the ones that are sitting through and talking, discussing, having all the having the various conversations and strategizing on what's the best way to help take care of people, right? So our clients are going to call us and ask us, "Oh, Demetri, how do I take care of that out-of-pocket cost you brought to me about?" They're not going to do it. We have to do it. We have to bring it up to them, because if we waited for the client to do it, they're going to call us after they have the health event. Because what happens with a health event? They're going to end up having to pay some kind of out-of-pocket copay that they have. And then all of a sudden it's going to come to the front for them and say, "Oh my gosh, I had to pay $500 or $1,000, whatever the number is. You need to fix this. How do you fix this?" Unfortunately, we can't, right? So that's why I always say it's important to talk about this, of these other products, other opportunities ad nauseum, quite frankly. Let your clients know that you believe in this so much that you're talking about it every time you talk to them, with the exception of the birthday call. Let that be just a happy birthday call. But every other time, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, I talked to you about how I can protect you against some exposure to cancer costs that insurance doesn't cover." They say no? Okay, no problem. Now, 6 months later, 9 months later, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, I talked to you about the cancer plan." Always bring it up. Just bring it up different ways. So this way, you're not, it just kind of comes natural. Eventually, they're going to ask you why you're talking about it so much. And then they're going to end up understanding, or at least giving you the opportunity to talk about it, which is what we want, the opportunity. Now, from a market perspective, we have really two markets that we handle here. We have a under age 65 market, and then we talk about the senior market. The under 65 market, the products that really make a lot of sense from a GTL perspective is we have a cancer plan that works really well. That's great for under age 65. And our life plan, that's from age 50 on up, which is Graded Benefit Whole Life. So from that market, and also You may see in some states that we have accident plans. So if you have a client that has a higher deductible major med type product like $10,000, $15,000 deductibles, you might want to consider looking at an accident plan to be a type of additional sale for that client to take care of that out of pocket exposure, for a really small amount of premium to be able to help them out. So that could be an option too. But you'll definitely, if you ever have questions about that, I'll give you my contact number, and you can always call me about that, and we can talk. Senior market, that is our primary market overall. That's where the vast majority of our sales come from, is really the senior market. It doesn't matter if we're talking traditional Medicare or Medicare Advantage. So either way, either product you're looking at, hospital indemnity, cancer, short-term care, and life are all going to be in play in having conversations with your clients. So that, that's a nice thing to know from a market perspective. So that's kind of the groundwork right there. Let's talk about the graded benefit whole life first. It's a life program. It's final expense. It's a plan that we've come out. It's about 1.5 years old now, and the product is doing really, really well. So something you want to know about the plan is that issue ages are from ages 50 to 90. If you're up to the age of 85, you can get up to $20,000 of final expense protection. From 86 to 90, they can get clients can get up to $10,000 of life insurance benefit there. Rates will be male, female rates. Because this is a whole life type of program, whole life, it'll be an issue age product. So that means that if the cost was $40 a month at age 65, that cost will stay the same at $40 a month for going forward. Now, one of the things that I'm going to encourage you when you're talking to your clients and as you're going through the application at this point is you're going to get to a part of the application where it asks auto premium loan, no or yes. Always answer that yes. It has no effect upon the pricing of the product or anything like that. We're required to have that as a separate question for some reason. Don't understand why, but we have to do it that way. But what it does is that if you have a client that has a policy in force for certain, for a while, let's say, and let's say they run into a cash flow problem for a month or two, and they want to keep their policy going, right? Because if you don't pay the monthly premiums, their policy is going to lapse. Having this auto premium loan provision will allow the plan to pay for the premium and keep the policy in force for your client. So the auto premium loan should be a yes every time. Underwriting wise, 6 questions, real easy. No height and weight guidelines, no additional MIB and all that good stuff. Just straight off the application. Underwriters for all of our products. You may not be exactly 100% certain, how to answer a particular question on any of our plans. But don't guess. I will encourage you, please contact our new business area and ask an underwriter for some guidance. They may ask you some more questions, to try to come up with the right answer for you, but they may come up and may be able to help you in determining if somebody should be answering a question as a yes or a no. Better to know that up front than guess and not be able to help them down the road when they really need the coverages. I'm going to go on to the health questions here. I'm going to let you read these, look at these health questions while I'm talking here. But one of the things that we do also have is Social Security draft dating. The Social Security draft dating, what that does is that it allows for you to choose the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of a given month to have premium deducted from your client's checking account or savings account. Okay, very easy, right? Now, the trick here is this. I want to make sure we all understand this. Let's say today is, we'll just say today's Thursday instead of Wednesday. and on Wednesday, it was the second Wednesday of the month. And so on Thursday here, I'm talking to a client and they say, hey, yeah, you know what, Demetri, I'm getting my Social Security deposited on the second Wednesday of a given month. And then I say, great. We can have your monthly premium drafted every second Wednesday. The client says, that sounds perfect. Okay, great. So now, right now, during the time when I'm trying to write this application, this is what I need to do to make sure that the client understands what's to be expected. if the client has the dollars in her checking or savings account, his or her checking or savings account right now, and they're okay with immediate drafting, make the effective date today, no problem. If your client's going to be expecting to have that draft occur on the second Wednesday of the following month, you need to make sure you make the effective date on the first of that following month. So in this situation, on February 1st, I want to make that effective date so that this way it will draft on the second Wednesday of the month. If I don't do it that way, it's going to draft immediately. And you just want to, if the client's okay with that, no problem. But if they're not okay with that, because let's say they don't, let's say they're pretty tight on their budgets, then we want to make sure we run it out to the first. So hopefully you can see that the underwriting questions are a very simple set of questions here. The thing about the underwriting is, and the reason why I'm going to talk about this now is because where does this graded benefit product fit? I know you have a lot of final expense options out there, which is great. If your client is healthy, this will not be their plan of choice, quite frankly, because this plan is designed for folks that aren't that healthy, as you can tell by the questions. The other final expense plans out there are going to have probably more robust questions, but you're going to also probably have a lot less expensive type of premium for those particular clients too. Because we're looking to take folks up to a table 8 in the underwriting scale, which, that's a lot of sicknesses going on there. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than your traditional final expense. And if they don't qualify for our plan here, then your next option is going to be guarantee issue, because then there's no questions here. So that's underwriting wise. Now, why do we call this a graded benefit plan? Because of the way the benefit is available to the beneficiary. If the primary insured passes away in the first year, the beneficiary will receive premiums paid plus 5% interest. That's if they died of an illness. If the primary insured died of an illness in the second year, so from months 13 to 24, the beneficiary received 50% of face amount, which that's a unique benefit on a graded benefit side of the world there. Usually they're a lot smaller in the face on that second year benefit. And in the third year, which is month 25th and plus, if the insured passes away of an illness, the beneficiary receives 100% of the benefit. That's why it's called graded benefit, because it's not a level death benefit in year one for any kind of death. It is going to be full face amount payable if the insured dies of an accident in years 1 and 2. But an illness, it will follow the schedule as you see for years 1 and 2. All right. So it's a very simple product, guys, and it's very obviously beneficial conversation to have with your clients. We definitely want to make sure that your clients are, are taken care of from a final resting place perspective, because we know that not everybody has the dollars sitting around waiting to be able to take care of that for folks. So this could definitely be very important coverage for your clients. Last week we talked in detail about our hospital indemnity plan, the Advantage Plus, or it's also going to be called Advantage Plus Elite in most states there. I'm going to kind of high level go over it real quick again, because I think it's always a good thing to talk about this plan. Available in 44 states. The only states that it's not available in is going to be Alaska, California, DC, New Hampshire, New York, Vermont. Now, the thing that we got to remember about our complementary product lineup is this. You may have it available, let's say in Illinois, but then you end up moving to California. What happens? You get to keep that policy in place, right? And then you still get to use the benefits, because it doesn't matter where you move to in the terms of the U.S. after you buy the plan. You don't have to keep changing it because of where you're living at. So it's a beautiful thing in that being able to buy these plans and keep them for a long, long time and get benefits out of them for a very long time too. When you're talking about a hospital indemnity plan, you don't need to be worrying about certifications and such. The only place you have to worry about certifications is doing your MAs, right? With our plans, when you sat through a webinar or you're reading information on the plan, that's your certification. You're good there. One of the things that when we talk about our hospital indemnity plan, it's really, really important to talk about the base benefits, right? Because we have a number of different options on the base benefit side. We have a 1-day benefit period that's available, so the client can get $1,000 to $2,500 upon the initial 24 hours of being hospitalized. Now, if a client has a 1-day benefit period and they weren't hospitalized for 24 hours, let's say they were in for 6 or 24 hours, if they're using our elite program here, they're still going to be able to get 25% of that lump sum amount that they chose. So that's still going to be very beneficial for your clients. Now, from a base plan perspective, what we're typically going to be looking at here, we're going to probably have clients that are going to be looking at a 3 to 10-day benefit period option or a 15-day. You can choose from $100 to $75 per day. And if they're hospitalized for 24-hour periods, they're going to be able to use, the 3 through 10 or 15-day benefit period and get those dollars, right? But most folks, a lot of folks, aren't hospitalized for 24-hour periods. They're hospitalized for 22 hours, 23 hours, 21 hours. And then that's not a covered benefit in hospital indemnity world typically, except for our plan it is, because with our elite program, it's automatically included the short stay benefit. And if you have our Advantage Plus, you need to make sure you add it on as a rider. But if you have the short stay benefit, they're going to still receive, if they're hospitalized from 6 to 24 hours, they're still going to receive the daily benefit that they've chosen. Very important benefit there. Emergency room benefit or urgent care benefit, if I want to call this too, because if the client goes into emergency room, urgent care, they can get $150 because of accident or injury. Okay, there's no hospitalization required. And then there's a mental health benefit of $175 up to 7 days if confined to an hospital for mental and nervous disorders. Now, the thing that I want to point out here is that I didn't talk about this last week, because I think I threw a lot of information at you last week as it is, but I know we always think about hospital indemnity from a Medicare Advantage perspective. I'm going to encourage you, think about hospital indemnity from a Med Sup perspective too. And why would I say that, right? Well, there's a lot of positives that can come from having a hospital indemnity plan with a Medicare supplement. One is that we know that Medicare supplements are what? They're limited in benefit. They don't cover absolutely everything and anything that could happen from an out-of-pocket exposure perspective. There are limits to everything, right? I mean, there's limits in the PDP plans, there's limits in Med Sups, there's limits in Parts A and B. It's just, that's how it is. Does it cover a lot of things? Absolutely, it does. But one of the things that we talk about, and we can do it from a separate plan setup, cover each scenario by a separate plan with short-term care or cancer and so forth, or we can utilize a hospital indemnity plan to cover everything that we would talk about with the Med Sup client. So one thing that I do think makes sense here, and I'm not going to talk about doing a 10-day benefit period, $300 a days for a Medicare supplement plan. No. For Medicare supplement plan, I'd be looking more like $100 a day in benefit, 3-4 days type of protection, that 3 or 4 days. Because remember, this does restore when the insured's out of the hospital for 60 days or longer, right? So they're going to have a number of different times they can use this. And even if they don't use up the benefit period all in once, and if it hasn't restored yet, they still can eat up the benefit periods that they have available if they get readmitted. So there's some positives there. But the average hospital stay is 5 days. So if you go anywhere from 3 to 5 with $100 a day, you have clients out there now, as we get older, what's the things that, that when you talk to seniors, what is the one thing that they really, really work hard to not be able to be to anybody of their loved ones or kids, family members and such? Probably the number one thing you hear from them is going to be they don't want to be a burden. I know it's kind of a ridiculous statement to make, because why would my mom and dad be a burden to me? They're not, right? They're my mom and dad, but that's how they feel. They want to leave their kids alone, let their kids do their thing, and that's where having a conversation about all these products are going to make a lot of sense for your clients. So again, $100 a day, 3, 4, 5 days benefit period, your choice. And what the point is of that $100 a day is that there's going to be some expenses that happen that insurance doesn't cover. What is it? Maybe you have a pet. You have to kennel that dog. or kennel that cat, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you have a child that travels all this way from somewhere, and you want to try to help them out and give them some dollars, for pennies on the dollars to get access to this benefit. It could be an option. Just something to look at, expand our mindset a little bit. I can tell you one of the largest health providers in the country sells a lot of Medicare supplements. I can tell you they write a lot of hospital indemnity with those Medicare supplements. Small amounts, $100 a day, $150 a day, but they cross-sell and they're offering complementary products to their folks. Now, the riders that we talked about for the hospital indemnity plans last week are still going to be great options for the Med Sup folks too. And obviously for the MA side too, right? But ambulance rider, at pennies on the dollar, makes a lot of sense. Even a Med Sup client can benefit from that. Paying a couple dollars a month to get access to $200 of benefit to use however they want. We always going to talk to Med Sup clients and Medicare Advantage clients about lump sum cancer. Why wouldn't we want to include that as part of our conversation with our Med Sup client? We want to talk about cancer. Yeah, expenses of cancer might get paid by Med Sup, not in the whole, but a lot of it. Because one of the things that insurance plans don't cover, they don't cover transportation, they don't cover hotel, they don't cover alternative treatments, they don't cover loss of wages for the person that might be helping you. So there's a number of different ways you can use those dollars you get from a lump sum benefit. I always look at the lump sum cancer side. If I'm on the MA side, I look at what the max out of pocket is. On the Med Sup side, I may look at what's my monthly expenses that I'm looking to cover that I need to make sure that I can take care of some some bills and such, because a lot of folks are still working part-time basis, or you might want to just use the concept of pennies on a dollar to get access to a significant benefit. But the lump sum cancer rider does make a lot of sense, even in the Med Sup world. Institute benefit, 25% skin cancer with $500 one time per year, 3 times over the life of the rider, and the recurrence option. We got the skilled nursing riders. Again, you guys know, I think I'm a big fan of that. Even in the Med Sup world, I'm a big fan of skilled nursing options. And the reason why I'm a big fan of it is Medicare is limited, right? And why are they limited? Because you need to be hospitalized, confined. That's the key word, confined, for 3 days, and then be admitted into a skilled nursing facility for within 30 days. We have the same gatekeeper with the hospital indemnity rider here for skilled nursing, but ours is a little bit more lenient in that observation or confinement will count as part of the 3 days. So that's a little bit more lenient. So your likelihood of getting a benefit out of that's going to be a little greater. And then we have the options to take care of the daily benefit. So again, another good option to look at. Outpatient therapy rider, something you can only add on to the Advantage Plus program. So if you have an Advantage Plus Elite program, then you're looking at making sure even your Medicare supplement client can use this. They don't have to have a copay to have to get the benefits. This is an indemnity product. So even as long as they're utilizing the cost, right? As long as they're utilizing the benefit, they're going to get that out of their money. They're going to get the money to use however they want. They can use the money to go on a trip to Bora Bora. That's fine, but that's the whole premise behind indemnity. Outpatient surgical rider, twice per year. Lump sum confinement rider for those kind of maybe they have a plan that's got an initial and higher daily copay that they need to take care of right off the bat. Then we have the critical accident rider, which is an accidental death benefit there, and then dental vision rider. So got a couple different things there, no doubt. This was the plan that I always tell you, that when you're looking at it from an MA perspective, you want to offer everybody this type of option right up front. Don't try to build from the 7-day benefit period, $300 per day, and try to add things on. You want to have it ready right to this number here, guys. Show your client, I can take care of everything that's important from an outpatient copay perspective right here, $72 a month. How's that sound? Yes or no? You're gonna have a couple people that say yes. Great. Okay, great. Those that say no, okay, what is it you want me to remove out of your protection? Is it outpatient surgical and therapy? Okay, we can remove that. So now you're going to be at $60 a month. Okay, let's remove. Okay, so How's that sound? Great. Okay, you're going to get a lot more people that say great at $60 a month. Or you're going to have people that say no to that. And the people that say no at that at $60 a month, they're going to be, let's say they say, let's remove the skilled nursing rider. All right, so now we're going to be left at $47 a month. All right, no problem. And then you might say people say yes to the 47. You're going to have someone still say no to the 47, no problem. Then you're going to be left at the base coverage, which your base coverage will be 7-day benefit period, $300 a day, ambulance rider for $27 a month. You're going to get a lot more people that say, most of them are going to say yes to that there. But if you go from big to the 72, 70, all the benefits that make sense, then now you're positioning the product to say, only, this is going to be a product that keeps you the same, keeps the same pricing at their current age. So they bought this plan at age 68. So if you're going to be 75, it's going to still be $72 a month, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, for you. Okay, so that's the big benefit here for you. I don't know what I can do for you in 3 or 4 years from now if we wanted to add any of these things, because you're going to have to qualify. But, by answering underwriting questions, and you're going to be older. So it's going to be even more expensive. This is the best opportunity that I have to be able to get you everything that could be a real benefit for you. And then go from there. So underwriting wise, we know that hospital indemnity is very easy from an underwriting perspective. 5 health questions. The first question is a hospitalization question within 3 months. And then the rest of the questions are 12 months for chronic conditions. Guarantee issue window from ages 64 and a half to 65 and a half in most states. New Jersey and Utah are the 2 states now that don't have guarantee issue. All the other states that we do business in have guarantee issue, so that's awesome. But if you're going to add the lump sum cancer rider, make sure you don't make sure that you answer the health questions on the lump sum cancer. That's never a guaranteed issue. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you, if you're working the T65 market, take a look at the application ahead of time. Know what's the knockout questions, because if you're working with clients that are, maybe diabetics, at turning 65, diabetics will be able to get coverage because it's guarantee issue. The only thing you have to worry about, even with GI, is the 6-month pre-X language.
Yep.
That's it. That's the only thing you have to worry about, the 6 months pre-X.
Yep.
So, what does that mean? That means that your client, if they're being seen by a doctor for something that has nothing to do with the application, and then that situation causes them to get hospitalized in the first 6 months of the policy in force, that wouldn't be a covered situation. That's all that means. If they get hospitalized or try to claim on the policy 6 months and 1 day after the policy is in force, that's a covered condition. So make sure your clients understand that. All these plans have 6 months have pre-existing condition languages. So you want to make sure your clients understand what pre-X means. Very important there. Now, let's talk cancer, because cancer, we got some phenomenal products here on cancer. Precision care, and then we also have a traditional cancer, heart attack, and stroke plan. Cancer plans are available in these states that are in red here. And the precision care is a product that is just so unique. There's no other one like it on the market. And when we're talking about precision care, I kind of just go straight to what it's about. It's about lump sum cancer that you can purchase protection up to $75,000 of benefit, but also built into the plan has a benefit for genomic sequencing by TGen. TGen is short for Translational Genomic Research Institute, and they're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and they're the best genomic sequencing in the country. They're the far and away the best out in the ahead of the world there, and so when we're talking about genomic sequencing, why is that important? I don't know how many of you have dealt with cancer for yourselves. I know I've dealt with cancer twice myself, most recently 2 years ago. I had genomic sequencing done for my cancer. And they were able to tell me, based on my genomic sequencing, what's the best course of action was to be able to treat the cancer. And obviously, I'm very thankful for that. But what is genomic sequencing? If don't let that word scare you either. It's not a big deal. The word doesn't, that's all it is. Genomic sequencing. That's all it says, right? What it is, it identifies, it shows what the fingerprint is of the cancerous tumor. What is it that makes it unique is what that fingerprint, what they're doing, looking for. And they find that fingerprint. And based on that fingerprint, they're able to tell oncologists and to have discussions about, this is what we see. Try this course of treatment first, because that's because of the information that we were able to see. They're trying to beat the cancer the first time around, not the second or third time. So that's the power of genomic sequencing. It's incredible. And part of the benefit is that TGen, again, these guys are the authorities, right? Their oncologists will have intelligent conversations with our clients' oncologists also. So two super intelligent people talking to each other, talking about cancer and coming up to the best course of action for their patient to get treated. How's that not a great option? Now, also part of the base plan is going to be a 25% experimental treatment benefit and then a 25% cancer in situ benefit. That's part of the base product there, okay? Now, you could also add on a cancer benefit builder rider and then a child coverage rider. Now, the child coverage rider, each child that's covered, we could issue a policy from ages 0 to 18. They can keep it until they're 26, I believe. They're going to have access to that genomic sequencing also under their child coverage rider. And it is such an inexpensive benefit. Oh my gosh, it's like an awesome one. Now, the thing that I want to encourage everybody here is this. If you are writing cancer insurance today, please do not go back to your clients and try to replace their existing coverage. Please do not do that. The problem that we have is that everybody has pre-existing condition language and contestability period languages on their health plans. So I would hate to put an individual in a position that they may not be able to get a benefit for some reason or another because of the pre-ex or contestability periods languages that are part of insurance contracts. So what I'm going to encourage you is that continue talking about cancer with your clients, but talk to them about, hey, look, I just learned about a new cancer plan with an incredible benefit on it that I want to add on to your existing coverage. And we don't have to do a lot. All we need to do is about $15 a month in monthly premium. So whatever that number is it $2,500 a lump sum benefit? Is it $5,000 a lump sum benefit? They're going to get that TGen benefit automatically. So why not? Add it to what they already have. And this way, because usually the older cancer plans anyways have always been richer to begin with. So now you're going to be in a good spot. Now you're doing something really, really good for your client, adding benefits that they don't have on their other plans. So that's a really good situation, I think. Now, one of the things that you want to take a look at too when it comes to the TGen product, I know you're probably looking at it and going, well, my cancer plans aren't that expensive. For $10,000, it's not $36 a month for a male at age 65 or for a female at age 65 or $46 a month for a male at age 65. Well, you're right. $10,000 plans aren't that those kind of dollars. But remember, Precision Care, the base program, talks about $10,000 lump sum payment for growth spreading cancer pay out to the client to use however they want, plus the genomic sequencing and physician consultations. If you were to Google what the average cost of genomic sequencing is, you'll find that on average, the average cost is about $10,000. So you gotta account for that somehow, some way, right? So if you were to wanted to take a cancer, heart attack, stroke, traditional plan and try to match it up with this product, you actually have to look at a $20,000 benefit on a traditional cancer plan to equal the total benefit that you're getting from Precision Care. And a $20,000 plan at age 65 on a traditional cancer plan is about $60 a month versus the $36 for a female or $46 for a male. So this is kind of one way to kind of show you what the cost is there, the cost differences are. So there is a distinction there for sure. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that TGen is the only way to go, the Precision Care product is, because we do have that traditional cancer, heart attack, stroke plan. You're going to have clients that aren't going to be interested in genomic sequencing, which is fine. But they may want some cancer coverage or some maybe standalone heart attack, stroke coverage, which is great. Then we can handle that with this product here. Or if they want all three to have protection for, cancer, heart attack, and stroke, you can add the heart attack, stroke as a rider to the cancer plan. So now they got protection for all three for whatever chosen benefit level they have. The nice thing about these cancer, heart attack, stroke plans is they're very similar to the precision care. They have a lot of the same riders. The big difference here is this. On the cancer, heart attack, and stroke, you have the recurrence option available to them. And what does that mean? The recurrence option means is that someone gets diagnosed with cancer, they get paid $10,000, let's say. They go through treatment. Now they're in remission. Clock starts. 5 years later, they're still in remission, which is obviously great news. Their benefit on their cancer plan just restored the full amount after 5 years of being in remission. And now, if they get diagnosed with a new or different, the same or new or different type of cancer, they're going to get access to that same $10,000 again. Most cancer plans are one and dones. This allows it to keep on restoring, unlimited. Now, if they get diagnosed with a cancer less than 5 years, there's a schedule that would follow to be able to provide a benefit for the client. So that's a nice little benefit for them to be able to have in a better than nothing. After 1 year, it's 10% of after 1 year remission, 10% of benefit payout. If it was a year, if occurrence happened in years 2 or 3, 25%, year 4, 50%, and then like I said, year 5, 100%. Here's the health questions for our cancer plans. Very simple health questions. Just pay attention to the cancer plans, even on the rider side, have a 30-day waiting period. So that's something to pay attention to. All right. So hopefully these questions are, they're simple there. Now, the last part that we're going to go over today is going to go over short-term care. I'm not saving the least for last or the best for last. They're all important products. Okay. But, short-term care, is something I think that we all can probably, find clients to talk about with short-term care wise. We have a home health care product, and then the product on the right, Recover Cash, is a nursing home product. We're going to first cover the home health care product, and the states that are in purple are the states where I have short-term care available, short-term home health care available today. Now the questions are, do you have any clients that could check off any of these questions here? Currently taking scripts, have it planned for the future, or maybe they did plan for the future and they couldn't qualify or afford it, or afford for a long-term care product, and are not already receiving care and do not have difficulties with ADLs or cognitive impairment. You have clients that can check some of these things off. We're going to have a good conversation for your clients. This is what the base plan looks like for our home healthcare product. We have on the left side, home healthcare benefits. I call that the big box. I'll refer to that as the big box. So when I say big box, look to that box, please. On the right-hand side, you'll see where it says home healthcare aid benefit, the 3 options. That's the little box. And then right underneath that, that's the prescription drug benefit. I just call that the drug box. Okay, so just to kind of make it easy as I'm bouncing around from box to box here. All 3 options will have 3 plan benefits available to it, okay? Plan A, B, and C. Once the client chooses a plan, they stick through it throughout the program. Now, in the big box on the left there, you're going to notice that's all skilled type of nursing care that can be done at home. Plan A, maximum benefit per day is up to $150. Plan B, $300 per day. Plan C, up to $450 per day. The benefit period for the big box here is a 360-day benefit period. Now, why do I bring that up? Because I'm going to encourage you when you talk to your clients and you tell your clients, yeah, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you chose a plan A, great choice. You know what, but your benefit per day is $150 a day. If you have physical therapy and speech pathology, make sure you do that the same day. So that this way you can maximize the benefit you get out of the home healthcare plan. Because if you take 150 and you multiply that by 360 days of benefit, that could be $54,000 of benefit that could be payable to you under this plan A. If you looked at it from a plan B perspective, that's $108,000 that's payable out of this short-term care plan here. Plan C is $162,000. If you took 450 times that by 360, there you go, $162,000. That could be significant amount of benefit for your clients, guys. Okay, and then when I get to the price part of it, you're going to really be like shocked at that point. But so you choose plan A, B, or C. You got to follow it through, right? Now the little box, home healthcare aid, 40, 80, or 120. Now, if you're looking at the daily benefit amount, the daily benefit is going to be 40, 60, 40, 80, and 120, but the maximum benefit period on the little box is a 60-day benefit period here. So now total that you can get a plan A is 2,400, total plan B is 4,800, total for plan C is 7,200. So now that's payable on top of whatever benefit they get on the big box. So big positives there. Now the last box, prescription drug box. Doesn't matter what the copays are, if they have any, don't have any, doesn't matter. If they're going to have a script that's filled on a monthly basis, because this is about every script that's filled, they'll be able to receive, if it's a generic drug, $10 per script filled, or if it's a brand name, $25. And if it's a plan A, they can get up to $300 per year. If it's a plan B or C, they can get up to $600 per year. Now, it's a very simple benefit, guys. Doesn't matter to me if they have $4, $5, $6 copay or $0 copay, they'll still get $10. If they, or if it doesn't matter if it's brand name, same difference, right? So they also need 30 scripts per year to get the full $300 on a generic. Then you got 12 scripts per year that they need on the brand name. I think it's very doable for a lot of folks out there, right? So here's the annual premium for Plan A for a 65-year-old. It's $294 a year. Anybody notice anything there that's pretty interesting? I'm sure you do. How is it that a Plan A drug benefit, they can get back $300 from their drugs, but it only costs for the whole plan $294 a year? Good question. I don't know the answer to that because that's actuaries' jobs, but it works because the way that the pricing on this product is this. This is attained age pricing. We start at age 61, and then we'll go to starting at age 71, they'll go up. They'll go up again at age 76, at age 81, and then at age 86 for the last time. It works. The structure has worked. It's attained age. So if the client at 65 is paying $294, they're going to pay $294 for the next 5 years. And then at age 71, they'll go up to about $390 is what it is for Plan A. So they're still going to have significant amount of savings because of the reimbursement on the drug side. That's going to cost them practically nothing. They have home health care protection to get access to what? $54 or $108,000 or $162,000, whatever they choose. So it's still very, very affordable protection for your clients, guys. Underwriting wise, super simple underwriting. How many of us have clients, that can answer all these questions, that a lot of your clients can answer all these questions? All of you, I'm sure, have clients that can answer all these questions. This would be a good opportunity to talk to them. Again, complimentary. Doesn't matter doesn't matter if Medicare is paying or not paying. This is indemnity based. They're going to be going in for a service. They'll get $150 a day for 360 days, for example. Okay, it's all indemnity based there. It's not about what their actual costs are. Recover Cash, short-term care nursing home product. Before I go forward, on the home healthcare product, it's only 2 of the 6 ADLs that are prescribed by a doctor or cognitive impairment is what triggers the benefit here. So as long as the doctor says the client can't do 2 of the 6 ADLs, just like here on the on the nursing home product, benefit triggers are 2 of the 6 ADLs or cognitive impairment. So very simple, no hospitalization. There's no hospitalization requirement. So why do I like this with MedSups in particular? I like this because this provides an insured options for custodial, intermediate, and skilled care. And why is that important? Because Medicare doesn't cover custodial, intermediate, or skilled care. Or custodial intermediate care, I should say. I apologize. They do cover skilled care. So you can offer this benefits from age 40 to 84. You get 50 to 300 in benefits. I'll tell you, go with the zero elimination period. That's good. Doesn't matter price difference between the 0 and 20-day. And then you have options from 30 to 360 days of benefit periods, which is why it's called short-term care. From a med sub perspective, prefer talking about the 90-day benefit period. I think that makes sense. Then there's also a home health care option here, which is $25 to $75 per visit for 90 or 180 visits. But here's how this could work for you. A $200 a day benefit period, 90-day benefit, $200 per day, 90-day benefit period, zero elimination. Obviously, if you're younger, it makes more sense to offer this to folks because it'd be cheaper for their coverage perspective. But even at age 65, $33 a month. Well, you're probably asking me, why did you use $200 per day for a 90-day benefit period? That's the closest I can get it to what Medicare pays for, right? Medicare will pay for 100 days of skilled nursing care. That is as close as I can get it. But with this plan, even if they don't go into skilled care, they go to custodial intermediate, they're still going to be able to receive this benefit. So $200 in 90 days, that's $18,000 of benefit that's payable to the client that they could use it for $33 a month. It's so affordable and makes sense for the clients. And if you're wondering, I know I put in simple and compound inflation on there. I put it on there to kind of show you why you shouldn't be offering that to your clients with our plan, at least. Instead of giving a $200 benefit, give them $250. You're going to be still better off than you are giving them inflation here. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Underwriting wise, super simple underwriting, much simpler than LTC. RX check, RX check for all applicants, and then we'll do a personal history interview for folks that are over the age of 75, and we'll do a personal history review also if folks have like adverse information that comes back from the RX check, just to verify and make sure that what the information is, what we're getting from the RX check. So I know I went through a lot of information here. You know about our e-app. I know we talked about it last week. I'm going to go through the video. The mobile app again is used for when you're face-to-face with clients. And then you got your web-based browsing that you could utilize with our e-app. For your folks that you're talking to over the phone, you can use our web-based e-app. And I'm going to show you how that works real quick here. And then today I'm going to show you something a little different too once this video is done, just to kind of help you with the navigating side a little bit on our website. So here we go. Right here is where you'd want a conference call on for your client and do a voice verification call if you're on the phone with your client doing off our web browser. And all we do is ask the client a few simple questions: their name, date of birth, what's your name as the agent, what's the agent's name, what's the name of the policy, did they answer the question truthfully, and they know that there's a premium associated with the sale. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you something here real quick because I know I'm running out of time, so I apologize here. There we go. So for those of you that aren't familiar with our e-app, this is what you want. This is what I try to show you in a really high level. Before you log in, this is just gtlic.com. State approvals. I know I went through a lot of products earlier. There we go. And now right here is going to be a map that you can access and say, all right, Demetri, you talked about all these products, but where are they available? I don't know. Well, you can download these products listing this way, or you can click on Illinois, for example, and it'll tell you what is exactly available in Illinois. Also, our e-app will also make only available what's only available based on age and state that you chose. If I'm talking about North Carolina, well, that's what I got in North Carolina. That's what I got in West Virginia. That's what I got in Maryland. So you got the idea, right? So now, if you're a first-time agent logging in, and if you haven't gotten contracted yet, make sure you reach out to, make sure you reach out to the agency and take care of that. But first-time sign up, go right here to sign up. I'm going to ask you for information that you're going to be provided. You create your own username and password. Once you create your username and password, submit registration, and then you get a message that says registration is successful. And then all you do is right away, it doesn't matter, mobile or web-based version, use the same username and password. You don't have to memorize two different ones. And then you get access into the agent portal, and this is where you can go ahead and start some coding and then submitting applications through Code Submit. Then if you want to access some of the great marketing videos that we have available for a lot of the plans I talked about today, it's under consumer marketing here. You can click on consumer marketing, click on the product that you're interested in. Precision care has a nice one. Cancer has a nice one. Home health care has a really nice one that a lot of folks you can utilize. You can click on the home health care consumer product. Take the link from the web browser here and put it into your browser or into your social media or in your email blast, however you want to do it. Put it on, if you have a website, embed it into your website. So you got a lot of options there, I know, but with that, I know I went through a lot of information again, so I do appreciate you guys
booked a
talking.
sunny Verbo ski chalet with Home is a place where you build memories. The special times, the family routines, familiar friends, and familiar faith.
There we go. Okay. So if there are ever any questions, guys, feel free to give us a call here. More than happy to help you guys at 800-323-6907. That also, by the way, is a text number too. So if you want to text that number, you'll get a text response from someone at sales support with any questions you may have. So Tony, I know I talked a lot, and I apologize for running a couple minutes over, but thank you for the opportunity. And John, thank you again for the opportunity for talking this morning and going over the complementary products that GTL offers. And I do appreciate the time, and I more importantly appreciate your business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Demetri. If we could give him kind of a virtual round of applause, that was fantastic. Thanks so much. And I do see a couple of questions in the chat line, actually. I think you addressed most of these, Demetri, but if you have a moment, if we could, I just want to make sure we get answers to these. Somebody asked can the hospital indemnity plan be used in the under 65 market? I'm presuming they mean not the child plan that you did discuss, but I'm presuming an adult over 18 that's under 65.
Yeah, most states, the issue ages on the hospital indemnity is from ages 40 to age 85. That's in most states there. So as long as you got that issue age from 40 to 85, you could use it for the underage market. Also, if you're thinking underage market, I'm brought up, we do have a couple of accident plans that could make sense for you. So, we have a couple of options that you can definitely take a look at.
Awesome stuff. Thank you. After a host policy is in place, at a later date, can you add additional days or increase the dollars per day for the hospital stay?
Absolutely. That's what we kind of refer to as the increase in benefits. I'm always a big fan of never changing people's original coverages because, again, going back to that conversation I was saying about pre-existing conditions and contestability periods. So yes, if you wanna increase benefits for your clients in terms of, if you gave them if they purchased a $250 6-day benefit period type of plan, and now their MA plan's gone up to $350, you need additional $100. Absolutely, you can do 6 days at $100 as an increased amount. As long as they have a plan with us, you don't have to do a minimum we don't have any minimums, minimum requirements from a premium perspective on that.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for the clarity. Now, can a person that's dual eligible purchase a hospital indemnity plan?
Anybody that can answer the questions no, and obviously pay for the monthly premium, absolutely go for it. I don't bring up the dual eligibles or the DSNPs typically, because I've found over the years that those haven't been good scenarios, for agents that that have been in those markets.
Okay. I have another question. This might be too specific to the presentation. I'm not too sure, but it says, why did you not add the lump sum benefit rider?
I don't add the lump sum benefit rider because I don't find that as being a necessity for covering the MOOP in most plans, because I can cover up the daily hospitalization, with a base product at $300 a day or whatever that number is for 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I'm covering the MOOP that I'm really looking to protect and I'm speaking to. Now, if you have an MA product out there that has a need for that, by all means, go ahead and use it. Makes sense. But for generically speaking, that's not something I run into a lot.
Sure. Next question. Can you get this if another company turns you down who doesn't have the genome sequencing option?
If the client can answer no to the health questions,
yeah,
then you can go ahead and qualify for the coverage and get a coverage for your client. Yes.
Excellent. And then lastly, what I see here is with the hospital indemnity products, does this include copays for skilled nursing facilities?
Well, the hospital indemnity plan has a rider for skilled nursing rider, so that's where you could add that.
Perfect. Very cool. I hope that's everything, you guys. If you'd like, now would be the time to unmute yourself and chat in or type something in the chat line. But otherwise, I think we're all wrapped up. Demetri, again, another excellent presentation. And I'm sure this is going to help a couple people better explain these programs. Thanks so much, Demetri.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Can I ask a question, please?
Demetri, I have a question too.
Please, by all means, go ahead.
All this, as agent, sometimes busy making the calls, and if they are new agent, is this listed in the plan offered under market and sales bro and stuff like that? Or I just have to attend this meeting, or my broker have to inform me about this information?
I'm not sure. I guess I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it's not clear.
Well, I'm not sure.
This plan, it seems new information, and it's updated by the state. This is being mentioned in the university, in all the links that we take. We see as a new agent for sales. It's listed over there. One of the plan we offer when we do presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be when you're doing the needs analysis in the sales presentation. If you uncover that they have a need for a hospital indemnity plan or a final expense or something of that nature, then this would be the time you would present an option like this. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Excellent. I believe we had another.
I'm sorry. I'm not organized, but I'm just trying to get a grip of what's going on.
No worries. Absolutely. And all of this, by the way, guys, these are all recorded on our website, as most of our meetings are. You can find this after the fact if you want to rewatch it.
And also, let me make one point real quick, because I guess I should have done this at the beginning, but there's a lot of information that you have available to you, and I'm going to encourage you, take one product and run with that initially. Get really good at that one product, and then add the second product, and then add a third product. So then you'll become a master at 4, 5, 6 products at the end of the day when it's all said and done. But do it one at a time, and then you'll give your clients your best experience possible.
Okay. Is it okay to ask a question, Demetri?
Sure.
This is Tony Brandy. With your 2 questions concerning the hospital indemnity. When it comes to, let's say a senior has a policy in place with GTL, then they switch their MAPD plan, and let's say the hospital copay increases. How, or the days or the amount, how is that then adjusted? How do you accomplish that? That's the first question. The second question is, some MAPD plans have their hospital inpatient copay not per day, but per stay. Some are $350 or $500 per stay. How does GTL hospital indemnity overlay with that?
Okay. Okay, for the first question, you can always increase benefits by adding an additional information, adding additional benefits for your client. So I'm a big fan, and I think I talked about it last week more than I did this week, but I'm a big fan about giving people not what they exactly need today for their hospital indemnity protection. I think that folks, if they have a $250 copay on their MA plan, I think they need to be offered $300. I think if they have a 5-day benefit period, I think you need to give them 7 or 8 days of protection, because for the point that you're mentioning is that things change and you can't adjust for everything. And the cost differences between getting it today and trying to do it later on down the road becomes bigger and bigger. And so, but right now, initially, when you play with this, and I'm going to encourage you to play with this, look at what it costs to do a 250 5-day, and then look at what it costs to do a 300, at 7-day. You'll probably end up finding it's going to probably be around, $3 or $4 a month difference to be able to give them the flexibility that they may need, that they'll need down the road, because we know they're going to need it. But if you do that, and all you need to make is adjustments on the daily benefit side, all you do is just increase the benefits, and you'll add to what they already have. So that's
how do you do that? How do you adjust the daily amount?
On the application. There's a question.
Saying on an existing policy.
Yeah, if you look at the application, even if you go through quoting, it'll say, "Are you increasing benefits?" You say yes, and then what's the policy number that's part of it, and then you can go ahead from there.
Okay, thank you.
Now your second question regarding the overlay. Quite honestly, I don't have a nice, neat, and solution for you, other than if you know that your benefits are $350 a day for $350 per stay, for example, like you said, the best thing that you could do is give your client a $350 or $400 type benefit for 3-day benefit period, so that this way, each day that they are in the hospital, even if they only have $350 per stay language, they'll still, if they're in there for 3 days, they'll still receive the $350 or $400. So you can you can do it that way a little bit if you wanted to. There isn't.
I had a senior just yesterday or the day before. She had a $750 per stay, and so what you're saying is, because your daily limit only goes up to a certain amount, you would just add days. Is that what you're saying?
I would just do a 3. I mean, if it's a 7.
So what if she's only in there a day? That's the question.
They'll still get the $350 for 1 day, right? Because it's the benefit periods are 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days, 6 days, and so forth. So if they're in there for 1 day, they're in there for a 24-hour period. They're going to still get the, you can still give them $750 if you wanted to for 3 days. So then if they're in there for 3 days, she'd end up with $2,100, over $2,100.
I gotcha. So have to just piecemeal it, sort of.
A little bit, yeah. With that scenario, you need to piecemeal it a little bit. Or what you could do is you can say, here, I'll do you $250 for 3 days, and then add a $500 lump sum for day 1 of hospitalization. So day 1 you'll get $750, and then days 2 and 3 you'll get $250. So maybe from a cost perspective, that might be a little bit more palatable too.
Thanks. I'll try that.
What state are you in?
Well, I've got that was I think that was a Texas.
Okay, it should work in Texas that way. Okay, yeah.
Demetrius,
yes.
May I make a comment also? So when you guys brought in that fill in the gap, if you click on that fill in the gap, Tony, and it tells you tell them what state and you tell them what plan, it's going to recommend the benefits for that client anyway. So if that plan has got us per state, the GTL fill in the gap would recommend what benefits to offer to that plan to cover that per state amount. So you could do it that way and then eliminate anything that you don't need to add to that.
Oh, that's a good point. But I'm gonna take it one step further when you say that. That's gonna match up to what the MA plan has. Remember, from what I say, when I recommend Demetri here, not the overall GTL, but when I talk to a lot of agents, and that's why I tell you all this stuff that's coming out of my brain. It's because I'm hearing this all the time from agents. So offer $50 more, $25 more, something more than, or $30 to $50 more than what they have currently on their copay amounts. Because the fill the gaps tool will point it out up to, it will match it up, and then give them a couple days more on their daily benefit. Again, to answer your question about changing and stuff, it'll be more beneficial for the client at that point. So yeah, I love the fill the gaps tool. I think it's great. I think it helps identify and illustrate to the client that here's your copays that you're going to be responsible for, and this plan can cover up a lot of these major copays to take care of the MOOP. That's what that purpose is to kind of just to identify that. But then, what I would actually recommend to clients are going to be a little bit different. So, all right, sorry for talking too much.
No, that's awesome. The more info, the better. Guys, this has been awesome. Does anybody have any final wrap-up questions or comments, or, did you find this helpful? Let us know, because, we can always do more of this style meeting. We just need to know what you guys need to know, if that makes sense.
There was a question about...
I have a question.
Go ahead. There was a question about the skilled nursing with the hospital. I wasn't quite sure if that was answered.
Oh, yeah. Demetri, I think you had answered this. The hospital indemnity product, does this include copays for skilled nursing facilities? I don't remember what you said, but I know that you had mentioned that.
Yeah, there is a rider in most states for a skilled nursing rider that's available with the hospital indemnity. That's like, remember when I kind of showed you the, what I would present to a client 100% of the time, $72 premium. It was daily confinement, ambulance, lump sum cancer, skilled nursing option, outpatient therapy, and outpatient surgical. Those are the main things. So yes, we do have an outpatient we do have a skilled nursing option on there.
Excellent.
So I know I heard one more. Somebody else had one more question.
Right, it was me again, Demetri. Thanks again. Thanks for the presentations. Appreciate it. If for future training, I'm a very visual learner, and I like seeing, the procedures performed in front of me. That's just kind of the way I am. But to make my point, like to see how to go and change. Let's say someone has an existing GTL policy and they happen to switch their MAPD plan, and seeing how you go in. I'm still not clear on that. Like, see, how do you go into that application? And do you have to resubmit the application? They have to get pre-approved again? Where exactly is that done? I'm still a little unclear on that.
Well, yeah, the application, anytime you increase coverages, it doesn't matter what plan you're talking about. Anytime you increase insurance coverage, you're going to have to go through the underwriting process again. So give me a second here. Let me pull up I had to turn off my browser before because I had a video going at the same time here, but hopefully, okay. Hopefully you see a browser coming up across here. So when you go to agent login, Oops. Guess I tried that. There we go. Okay. So when you quote and submit, you're going to input the name. You use the date of birth of 1957, I think it is now. Makes them 65. Remember, you can always do a second applicant at the same time here, but for you guys don't want to watch me type, trust me on that. So Illinois, next. Now I'm going to choose my hospital indemnity product because I got Elite in Illinois, so I'm going to use Elite. And I'm going to increase benefits. So I have a client now that has an Elite product, right? Or the scenario is that does the client already have an existing Advantage Plus product? If they do, if you're adding something that they could have added on there, then you have to do the Advantage Plus a different way. But if they're doing an Elite product here, you can do it based right here under increased benefits. So if somebody next year, let's say because you sold an Elite plan, next year they need to change their plans. Increased benefits, yes. Put a policy number in here, whatever that is. So
that's what that button's for.
Yeah, so now I can do $50 a day as a minimum if I'm increasing my benefits. Now if maybe, if you want to, like Advantage Plus, our original product, right? If you have a client that you want to add skilled nursing rider to their plan, you're going to add it to their original product, not through the Elite program. But if you want to add daily benefit amount, then you're going to go through the Elite product here and do it this way. Add $50, $100 a month, $100 a day, whatever that is. Okay. And then you're going to do select number of days, whatever you want to do there. And now if you want to add the outpatient therapy, now you can add the outpatient therapy because you didn't have that as an option before. Now you do with this product. So maybe now you might want to add the outpatient therapy for the scenario for 30 days. Because again, remember, I told you 30 days is what you want to do. You don't want to do 15 days because here's the cost at 15 days, $606, right? 30 days, $699. That's where the value is going to be for your clients. But that's how you would do it. And then once you're done with whatever you've chosen, okay, then you move up, you go to apply now, and then you just go ahead and fill the application out and submit it. You do a verification call.
Awesome. Thank you, Demetri. That was very good for me.
All right, good.
May I ask a question there?
Sure.
Yeah, for the benefit, if you're increasing, you won't put the benefit, the whole benefit amount, just the increase amount.
Correct. I don't want you guys. I really do not replace what you already have in force, because what you have in force, it's already probably gone through contestability and pre-X language timeframes. So I want to make sure that when people do actually need these plans, they're not going to have any issues because, stuff happens, right?
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so I have a question based on what you just said.
Yeah.
So you're talking about adding $50 benefit to, say, $100 benefit. And you're answering the question, increase the benefits to yes.
Yeah.
And then you go through all of this and then you submit. Aren't they asking the same, asking to go through the underwriting and getting the interview all done over again?
Yes. They'll be doing whenever you're increasing benefits, you'll have to answer the underwriting questions, and then you do a voice verification call. And then the voice verification call is completed, you submit it, and the policies will be issued. Well, the policy will be issued shortly after, when underwriting will make sure that it doesn't exceed benefit limits and such like that. But then it'll be issued again. And only this amount here of $50, let's say, will be subject to the pre-X of, if you had a client that already had a plan for a couple of years or so, then only the $50 is subject to the pre-X for the first 6 months. And then, it has its own separate pre-X and contestability period. That's why I like to keep them separate.
Okay, so I'm not clear on the pre-X part. So you're saying the underwriter is going to not look back, or the underwriter is going to look back?
On the original amount, depending on the time frame, whatever they already had in force, if they already passed the 6-month pre-X on that original amount, that's not subject to pre-X, right? At that point, if it happened today. If it's, but the $50 that I just applied for today, let's say, then that would be subject to pre-X until that falls out of the pre-X window. So it'd be two separate groupings. Does that make sense?
So if you have somebody who has something that came up after that they didn't have before, this wouldn't work, right?
Potentially correct. That's why if they answer the health questions, if somebody's looking to increase benefits and they have to answer the health questions, yes, then they're not going to be able to increase benefits. But if they answer no to all the health questions and they have a pre-X thing going on, they can still get the coverage. They're just going to need to wait 6 months and 1 day before that pre-X situation is a covered scenario.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Very good, guys. Yeah, and I have a feeling, Demetri, I know you have things later this afternoon. We're going to keep you for 17 hours if we go question by question. But I want to wrap up with these last two that just popped in here. I see voice verification. Does that have to be used for life products as well?
Anytime you use our e-app as a web browser, off the web browser going to gtlse.com, you always have to do a voice verification call with us.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And then should we always just check the increased benefit box like every time?
No. not if it's not the
case. Yeah, for a second there, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, that does sound right. No. Okay. Very good. Very good.
If you truly are increasing benefits, then yes, that makes sense. But not normally, don't do it, because then it slows up your process of issuance. So you want to, so you definitely want to make sure to do it appropriately.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
There are agent guides, guys. Go on to GT Link under download forms and such, Vantage Plus Elite, or whatever product you're looking for. There's agent guides there, so feel free to browse around.
Awesome. And guys, I'm going to take a second here. Demetri, I'm going to share my screen actually just to show these guys something real quick. Nope, that's not the right screen. You guys, just as an FYI, from last week when we had Demetri sharing the other lines of products, that session's right here on our FAQ page, the frequently asked questions. I put that here. It's also on our YouTube channel. It's very abbreviated, but it's the same content we went over last week. You could also go to our webinars section and look at every one of our previous meetings in the last few years. You can see everything in here. Of course, you've got that session right there. Today's session, what we're doing right now, will also be up here. Give me till the end of the day, I'd say. It's not always up to me, but I can post it on here. It's kind of how long Zoom takes. But nonetheless, I'll put it up here. You guys, this has been awesome. I think you'll agree. And Demetri, you've been a fantastic guest host sharing this most amazing information. You guys, let's give them a round of applause. Go ahead, unmute yourselves.
Way to go.
Woo-hoo. Very good. Excellent.
This was awesome.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Guys, take this knowledge, take this information, go out and do some good. We'll see y'all on the next one.